Movie Chatter starts right now.
Time loops, time travel, time portal.
Time out.
Yeah, there's lots of different. You start getting into these different types of time travel. When you really break it down just to time loops, actually, there haven't been that many. You know, time travel, I think of Back to the Future,
Right.
right?
There's variations on it for sure.
But not till 1993 was there really that I know of, a good time, just the concept of time loop.
It was the Groundhog Day was the first one. There was a different movie that came out the same year. There was only a 20-minute movie, right? It was called 1201. You don't need to look at it.
Yeah, you're right.
Really? I
You're
didn't
right.
know that.
It was called 1201. It was about a guy that just kept on. His wife got murdered, and it was a short. It was only a 20-minute short, and it was. It beat this out by a little bit. There were other books, so I'm sure the guy.
I wonder if they knew of each other. It's the way Hollywood works, you know. They all kind of know.
Well, yeah. When Palm Springs came out,
Okay.
then you had Happy Death Day. Before that, you've got Source Code and a whole lot of time loops. Were just generating each other.
And I did, the easiest thing to do is to look on Wikipedia, because there's a lot of people who have a lot of more time than us. And there are, if you go to time loops.
Got them all right here.
They got quite a few.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, I think it's not 100% like our definition of a time loop movie.
I have the definitions right here, Don. Take a look at that.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the definition of a time. Those are definition of time loop movies, time
Great.
travel.
Do you want me to read it for the
Yeah,
audience?
Let me hear it.
Okay, so I'll start with Time Portal. A time portal film. In most films, time portals are used to take a group of people or a single person back in time. The most popular of all time travel would be traveling back to the time of the dinosaurs. Okay, so that's a time portal. Time travel in general. Time travel stories focus on the consequences of traveling to the past or the future. Some stories focus on solely the paradoxes and alternate timelines that come with time travel, where they're always saying that, you do something and it changes the future.
Like a butterfly
effect.
Yeah, rather than time traveling itself. Now, time loop, which is what we're really concentrating on today, is, according to its basic definition, a time loop, also called a temporal loop, is a fictional plot device that causes characters in a story to re-experience the span of time, which is repeated, sometimes more than once, with some hope of breaking out of the cycle of repetition.
There you go.
Oh, nice, Dave.
Yeah, see?
I like
Great
that.
note.
Well, check that out, huh?
He's
Interesting
got a
that
good printer.
Palm Springs did have a time portal because of the cave, but they only went back one day.
Right, but that was kind of like the origin of it. It wasn't necessarily where you could go to travel in time.
Do we need to do like a 3-week time? We could do
all of those.
Time loops today. Our top 3 time loop movies.
That's what we're doing.
Next week, our top 3 time travel movies. And then time portal movies. Maybe like...
well, I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, there's so many good ones.
I mean, do you like...
well, not that many, though. I mean, I could put it down, though, to a top 10.
I mean, we're doing time loops because it's close to Groundhog Day.
Right, that was the whole
Groundhog
thing.
Day is our favorite movie of all time.
There you go. Bill said, hey, let's be timely about this.
But if you're being honest, do you like time loop movies or time travel movies better?
Very, very, very different. I like time loop movies because it's sort of, it's just a real defined plot sort of formula.
Yeah.
somebody has to first go into this time loop, and then they have to, there's the, oh my gosh, am I really in a time loop? There's stages of it. So they all kind of follow that formula. Whereas time travel movies, it's a much more broad.
You're just going somewhere.
Right. That's
Where
a lot more broad.
This movie, a time loop movie, is more like something you think about all the time, even during the day, where you go, God, I wish I could go back and after I just screamed at that person, how could I do it differently?
Yes.
Or,
absolutely.
I should have stopped for that couple on the side of the road and they got axe murdered instead.
You start to think of life as being a time loop because it seems like every day is the same. And
for me,
if I can improve myself, that's the way I look at that.
I mean, it is literally true that I have to sometimes look at the calendar to know if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Not just so I know when to take out the garbage, but I literally work at home.
Yeah, these home workers.
I don't leave the house.
Right. It is literally
when
a
it's
time
cold
loop.
like it is in February in Wisconsin.
Could I have some of that 7-Up over there?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You get in these ruts.
I get it. Yes, that's exactly it. And that's why it's relatable, I think, because it, it's like I feel that. I feel like, some days I wish I could go back.
There's
and
a
do something
reason
different.
Groundhog Day is on the top of our poll as the best movie.
It is.
When it came out
In 1993.
in 1993, not only was it very successful, but they were surprised that the Buddhists and the Catholic religions were just praising the movie.
Really?
Buddhism, one of the big concepts of Buddhism is selflessness.
Okay.
And he goes from a narcissistic asshole
Yes.
to a selfless, thinking of others person. And the Buddhists believe that you have a rebirth that way.
Yeah. I think they actually included that sort of in the writing of it. It was written by Danny Rubin, and I actually just watched the movie with the commentary done by Harold Ramis, and he talked about how they had a version of the movie that he lived this loop for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of based on that Buddhist theory where everything in Buddhism is like 10,000 years. You do stuff for 10, so, and that's how he became selfless, and it took him that long. But they thought that would be just crazy.
Jumping to another one, The Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic movie. Fantastic.
You have no idea how long Tom Cruise,
That's true.
because when he gets to that, that like cabin area where the helicopter is at, she's asking how many have we been here before, and it's ridiculous the amount of times he's reliving that day.
I love to think about that. Like what do you think? How long did
There was
that loop last?
A group of people took Groundhog Day and took the skills that he learned. For example, he learned French 19th literature to do that poetry to
French
her.
Poetry.
And then to get to that level on the piano and so forth.
How long it would take?
12,000 days.
Okay.
Or 34 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. How about that? So I wonder, same with Edge of Tomorrow. I mean, I wonder how long that lasted. That had to be years of time loop, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I mean,
to be able to go through the progression of the fights he had to go through and, continue to get a little further and a little further.
Is there a day that you think you could hang for 34 years? Would you like 34 years of one day out of your life?
Well, now I think to Palm Springs, where you have J.K. Simmons playing Roy.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the beginning, he just hated Niles, who sucked him into the portal, and then he got stuck in there, and he was trying to torture him. And then he finally started to accept it, and he goes, well, I'm pretty old, and now I get to relive every day with my grandchildren, and otherwise I go back, I don't got much time left.
I think if I let you pick a day, you probably would end up hating that day. And if I just picked a random day for you, you probably end up loving that day and then maybe hating it.
I'd probably base it on where I was. and the time of year. Like I wouldn't want it to be
The
like
last day of high
January,
school?
January in the Antarctic.
How about the last day of high school?
That could be cool. That could be cool.
Because then you could
could learn
you
a lot.
you could really
Now-
shake hands with more people, talk to more
Would
people.
I have the
You'd have 50 years to do it.
18-year-old like mentality?
Yeah, but you have 50 years to work it out.
Yeah, but my maturity level, would it ever get any better?
Maybe.
I wonder. That's an interesting thought. Like, would it be better to do that when you are
No,
older
because
and you
you-
can appreciate?
Well, because you do
things?
remember Groundhog Day, you remember everything every day. It's just the same day. He didn't forget everything. That would be terrible if
Yeah.
you started the day, but you were as dumb as you are
Oh, yeah.
right now.
Right. That's one of the things that you do have to remember. Right. The other concept that Palm Springs had and Groundhog Day dealt with was that it didn't really matter. So Bill Murray could start eating donuts at the diner and go,
Right.
aren't you worried you're going to get, cholesterol?
Yeah.
No, I don't worry about anything.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think that was part of the way that was designed, and also similar to other time loop movies in that they do have stages. And I know that one was based on the Swiss American psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross.
Jesus.
Her
I like that.
5 stages of death.
Oh, yes.
is how they they wrote the movie.
First
So
it's denial.
denial, and then anger, and then bargaining, and then depression.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I might have switched those. Depression, then bargaining, then acceptance.
And then acceptance.
And
And you
so
saw Bill
you-
Murray go through that. He's,
Right.
jumps off a building committing suicide, puts a
Right.
toaster in his
Yeah,
bathtub.
Depression's the third one.
I have an
But-
idea.
and I think they all kind of go through those stages too. Go ahead.
And then once he accepts it, and then he starts going from his
That's how he gets to the
selfishness
selfless.
to the selflessness.
Yeah.
We believe that he finds meaning and redeems himself. I brought up before the Catholics. I mean, they have purgatory, right? And they might have gotten rid of purgatory now. I think didn't they get rid of hell? Even?
Did they?
They just kept heaven, I think. But
they kept the money. That's what they kept.
yes, so go to heaven,
were you
put some
gonna-
money. In
I was
there.
going to say, I was trying to change the subject to something more fun.
Okay, good.
An idea for a new time loop movie would be, imagine if they did a Groundhog Day or something like that with someone, old like Bill. Where actually they, this could be a serious movie or funny, I don't know. But if they started to get like Alzheimer's or something while they would start forgetting stuff.
Oh.
Try to do that where
Yeah.
he's been doing it so many.
So you actually you
Hit-
age, or you just
No, imagine if Bill Murray was in there for, 100 years
100 years
and he actually
started to forget
forget.
what he learned?
Right. I don't know, just a concept I thought was pretty interesting.
That would be interesting. I think there have been ones where they have done that.
Yeah.
I remember looking at time loop movies.
So what? Okay, let me have a list here. Okay, so 1201 was the first one. I have a lot, but
Yeah.
we're gonna try to not talk all day, but we're gonna try to
buzz through 'em.
pick the top 3. So if I say a movie that you think should be
included
in the conversation
In the conversation. Gotcha.
on this page, boss level.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Definitely. A brand new movie. Retired Special Forces officer is trapped in a time loop on the day of his death.
Great movie.
From
So fun
2020.
and violent.
Doctor Strange. They have it listed. Do you think Doctor Strange is one of the best? I don't think so. I wouldn't put it as
I don't think it's classically a
not
time
cl-
loop.
Not classically. The Edge of Tomorrow. Do you think that one should be in there?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Definitely.
Okay. Do you think
Or is it live, die, repeat?
Both are acceptable.
I like Edge of Tomorrow? Groundhog Day. Do you think
Sure.
Happy Death Day? 1 and 2?
In the
would be
conversation?
In the conversation, Bill.
It'd be in the conversation for sure.
Definitely in the conversation.
All right.
I mean, it was crazy, silly.
No, but I mean, should it be in your top 3? I don't think so.
But it should be in the conversation.
All right,
It's
all right.
because it definitely is a classic one-day repeater.
Okay.
You know,
There's a lot, and
keep going.
There's actually not that many time loop.
Palm Springs, brand new
Yes,
movie.
I think so.
Classic. When was that? 2014, I think.
Source Code. What do you think about that?
Or no, that's 2020.
Which
Source Code. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
You know, there was another. It's to prevent a nuclear attack on Chicago.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird one. To me, it wasn't true time loop. He like goes into somebody's, like occupies another person's body or something to go back and relive. I guess he is reliving when that train exploded. So they're not changing time, but they're trying to figure out who the murderer was, who planted the bomb, where did he plant it.
Right.
It was just 8 minutes that he was repeating.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, time loop.
Tiny time loop. It's a pretty good movie.
I kind of like that, actually. Better than an entire day. You know, but obviously you can kill yourself at any time and restart, supposedly, until you're not sure that works anymore.
There was a rom-com called About Time where he could go back 1 minute. And it was a great movie, and it might technically be on this.
What's it called?
You got the list there. Can you find one that, Don, in front of that piece of paper that you're touching?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rom-com.
Oh, Naked?
No, that was he woke up naked in an elevator and he had to get to the wedding. About Time, something like that.
No, that's not
Maybe it's
on
on the
this
next-
list.
Let me see real quick.
I do like.
Got a lot of dead air here, Don. A
Oh,
lot of
man,
dead
I'm
air.
sorry.
Well, a lot of dead. You got a lot
Have
of
you?
notes there.
Have you?
About Time, yeah, that's it.
About
It's
Time.
on another list here. Yeah, Rachel Adams, Bill Knightley. At the age of 21, he discovers he can go back in time and change what happened, but to his own life. And his decision, though, of course, screws everything up. But he can go back 1 minute.
Oh, okay. That's like Remote Control with Adam Sandler. Wasn't that a movie where he could like rewind a little bit of time?
No, he could only fast forward.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so he found out that the moral of that one was even the bad things in life are worth living.
Oh, so
because he had
skipping
skipped through that, right?
Ah, that's
And he
right.
missed so much of his life.
But it's one of those where it makes you contemplate time and living life for
Right.
the now and all that sort
Exactly.
of jazz.
Live now.
I really liked the one as far as putting ones on a list.
I would suggest
the map of tiny perfect things.
leasing a Lamborghini right now.
I would totally do that.
Oh,
Live
yeah.
for today.
That one, I think, is in the conversation
Yeah.
because it was so cool how they
All right.
would just try to find, they made a game out of that day, trying to find out what was the best part of that day. And they go, oh, check this out.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
they found it.
Yeah.
Just-
What
just
movie?
the right.
You haven't seen it, I don't think. The map of tiny perfect
And that's like a
things.
brand new movie, right?
It is pretty brand new. 2021. Yeah, that's pretty brand
Okay,
new.
I haven't seen it. Is that really up there in,
It's definitely
Groundhog
worth
Day?
seeing. In my opinion.
I thought it was. I mean, it's definitely like a lighthearted, younger person version of it. Whereas
And then he
Boss
finds out there's
Level is
a
like an
girl.
action
It's more like
version.
Palm Springs because
Yeah, there you go. Right, because he does. Right, it's two people that
Two
are
people,
that
right.
are in the loop. Same as Palm Springs. Yeah, it's like a high school version of Palm Springs.
By the way, did you know that
Kinda.
Danny Rubin actually had it where the character that Andy McDowell plays, she was supposed to get into a time loop at the end of
Oh
the story.
yeah, okay.
But they kept that out of there.
I definitely have heard that they had a lot of different
different
iterations.
ideas.
Yeah. I think they came up with the best one.
Yeah.
What about, is this a time loop movie? I don't know if you guys had it on any of yours. Miss Penguin's
Yeah.
Home of Peculiar Children.
Oh, I forgot. I did see that. It was
But
pretty
it's
good.
not. It's
It's not the same quite. It's like a year, basically. That it's like every time on this day, it repeats.
Oh.
I do believe.
Okay.
Where they're trying to prevent. It's like a house is blown up and everybody dies in it. So instead of letting that really happen, they take time backwards a little bit, and then they just always repeat the day right before that happens.
Oh, okay.
And I forget how it ends up.
Could you do a
But
movie?
it does have Eva Green in it.
Could you do
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
epic, like a Benjamin Button kind of long movie where it would show the life of somebody completely,
Okay.
and then you don't know it's a time loop movie until he dies. And it's
How
a
would you
time
do
loop
that?
movie where his life just keeps repeating. He has to live his entire life.
Oh wow.
And then maybe have
Oh, wow.
you know how you
That's the
have some
multiverse.
deja vu, you know? So the deja vu gets stronger and stronger.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you start acting on that deja vu, and then
Yep.
you realize, I mean, I don't know how you would film something, probably be a better book, but an
Yes.
80 or 90-year lifespan,
Yeah.
and he keeps on perfecting it.
I like that.
Speaking of deja
like
vu,
I have more
I
ideas
watched that
than-
with Denzel Washington.
No, there you go.
Which
So,
one? What'd you watch?
It's a bit of a time loop, I guess. Not really. It's a crime movie where they have this machine where you can kind of go back in time, and you can actually look at all the clues that were going on. So they're trying to find out this guy who blew up this ferry, and 400 people died on the ferry.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
Oh
one.
yes.
And he also wants to do it in such a way
Oh,
where the
that's
girl doesn't die as she did, as the beginning of the movie happens, she dies. So he goes back when she's still alive and
What's
tries
that guy's
to put it
name?
together.
Denzel.
Denzel Washington.
I'll find
And
it
the
in.
movie is
Keep talking.
Deja Vu.
Oh, it's
you
called
got to
Deja Vu.
rent it, yeah. 2006.
I have seen it. I definitely have seen that. Well, I like what you were just saying about your different idea of living a whole life, and I mean it's totally different, but
I got a lot of
it's
ideas
kinda
for
like-
movies, but
it's kind of like the multiverse where you have concurrent things happening. Like I am a person who kind of buys into that whole multiverse reality theory, and there's another reality.
Yeah, the multiverse, yeah.
Where our podcast is the most popular podcast in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's another
Joe
another
Rogan
reality,
is just so jealous.
and there's another reality where we're all hobos, and then there's another reality where Dave is
that's not time
the
loop.
president. No, it's not at all. But I'm just saying that's like if you're repeating your life, an entire life over and over, wouldn't there be many versions where sometimes you fucked it up?
Yes.
And
There you go,
sometimes
Dave.
you just like if you're gonna
There you
do
go.
that for a long, long
Yeah,
time,
exactly.
sometimes you're like, this time I'm just gonna fucking do a lot of drugs and drink a lot and just fuck it. And
Right,
See
yeah,
how
see-
quickly I could just die.
Right. So
You
they're
know?
using that
True.
multiverse to show alternate Spider-Mans
Right.
or whatever now.
This time, now I'm so smart because this time I really paid attention in school. Now I became an astrophysicist, and I'm, doing astrophysicist stuff. I don't know. It's just similar, in like repeating and having concurrent lifetimes, and
But the point of the show is to find the top 3.
yes,
So
I know what my top 3 are.
yeah, but what order are they in?
I know that too.
Do you?
Yeah, I totally do. I mean, did we go through all the ones you wanted to mention?
I'd like to know what's at the bottom of your list. Like 3, 4. What's in your 3, 4 range?
3, 4.
The bottom of my list would be Naked, where
3, 4. 3, 4.
3, 4.
1, 2, 3, and 4. So like 4 and 3 actually.
I really liked.
Because we're going to have to argue because we actually
I
have
liked
to
Happy
pick.
Death Day 2. That was actually, if you ever get a chance to see it, how could they redo one? You might have seen the preview. She wakes up after she's been murdered, and she keeps waking up in some kid's dormitory that she slept with.
It's a very difficult movie to see. That's why I haven't seen it. I haven't bought it.
Why is it difficult to see?
Oh yeah,
Because it doesn't land. It has never landed on a streaming service.
Oh,
by the way, I
really?
did see Deja
Interesting.
Vu free streaming a couple days ago.
Okay.
I didn't have to rent it, so you're right. These things come around. I'm sure Happy Death Day will be on HBO or
No, but
something.
it hasn't, Bill. You've been telling me about Happy Death Day 2 for I don't know what year it came out, but it's been several years now. It has not been on a streaming service. I have every streaming service. So,
Wow.
but I refuse to pay for it. So,
Well, because you're already paying a lot for all these
it's
services.
I'm just picking that one movie. I just want that one movie. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to rent it at Redbox.
Which is better, the first one or the second Happy Death Day?
I think you should see them both.
I
But
didn't ask
believe it
that.
or not,
You
I
didn't
didn't
ask
ask that. I asked for an answer.
Two.
Two.
Yeah,
And that one, she is thrown back into the same day again.
Same
but
day.
this time, her friends are included in it. Isn't that the truth?
they know about it.
They
right.
know about it.
Yeah, and then they reveal why they know about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you that part.
Okay.
My number 4 would be Boss Level. Just because
Interesting.
I thought it was really cool. I like that actor, Frank Grillo
Right.
Yeah, he was
and
good.
Mel Gibson, and I just thought it was a fun twist on it.
Yeah.
Just like the ultimate action version of a time loop movie.
Yeah, talk about action. I mean, it was like more action than Edge of Tomorrow, but not as good of a story. But it was excellent.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as serious as any of those. It's definitely more, I don't want to say lighthearted, but it's not like as gritty. I think there's more humor in it.
Somebody
I like
mentioned
that sort
these
of thing.
time loops, like Boss Level, are more like video games because when you're playing a video game and you get killed, you respawn and you get
Yeah.
to do it over again.
Right,
and
right.
you keep getting better and better at that video game, right?
There you go. Yeah, that's almost like the movie Free Guy, where he is.
I haven't seen it yet. It's coming out in just a week now
Oh.
on HBO Max.
It's not a time loop at all, but I mean,
I
he is
know.
a character that does, respawn. Trapped in a time loop that constantly repeats the day of his murder, Special Forces agent must unlock the mystery behind his untimely demise.
Where can you see that?
That's a good question. I could find that out. You can watch it on Hulu.
There you go, Hulu.
Is Palm Springs should be on what? Do you know that one?
Might be Prime.
Where's Palm
no.
Springs? I think that's the Prime movie, isn't it?
Oh no, wait, no, it was Hulu. In fact, Hulu
Oh,
it is.
a Hulu original?
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Bill's
it's-
trying to blow
it's-
out my sound system.
Oh, I'm
here.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulu bought the movie. It was a
Oh, okay.
low budget indie, and they paid for it.
There you
And
go.
according to
Well, it's one of the best movies Hulu's ever done, then, for sure.
Andy Samberg, is it?
Andy Samberg, yeah, you
He
are
said
correct.
they
I
paid a lot of money. He said we were so happy.
And Kristen Milotti is the girl in that one. I love her.
Oh man, she
She is great.
she is such a great look.
She was in that movie, in that show that did you guys watch Made for Love?
Yes,
Okay.
for a little bit. I only went into it
That was
like
an
3
HBO
seasons.
show. That was 3 seasons?
Not 3 shows.
3 shows.
3
okay,
episodes. I
okay,
meant to say.
Okay. But anyways, those two are great in there. That's got J.K. Simmons, Peter Gallagher. To me, that's my
Guilty pleasure.
yeah. I'm looking at my list again here, and I'm trying to see where that I think is.
I think the list is really small, and it's all about. Oh, you're number 4. Okay, I keep on. I turn number 3
hello?
off. Yeah. I have to. I'm just worrying about the order.
That's my number 3. I mean, if we're giving orders, Palm Springs is my third best because I love comedies, and I thought again that one, it touched me. You know, I like to, connect with that. Ooh, okay.
That's the order. That's what I like.
Okay, well, I have those same 3, but they're in a slightly different order.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to, now that's the show.
All right. Well,
Gotta argue about it.
Groundhog Day to me touched me in a way that I think is almost religious. That you got this guy going through a transformation.
Yeah, talk me out of it.
Oh,
I have
God.
Groundhog Day at 3, so
I have it at 1.
You know, it's
I have-
1993. How many movies that are around for almost 30 years now are still as iconic? Okay, Edge
Bill
of
Murray's
Tomorrow.
best movie ever.
And he didn't even-
Harold
he
Ramis's
didn't even-
best written.
he didn't even want to do it. Remember? I mean, Bill Murray didn't even want to do this movie.
Right, they wanted they were going to put Tom Hanks in there, but he was too good. They had to find somebody that was a narcissistic guy
And
like him.
That was perfect.
Bit
I'm
of a
listening to Harold Ramis talk about it. He said a lot of that. He said that that was part of it. Is that Bill Murray had that bad guy.
Right.
He had that. He could in some moments be a real asshole. It was interesting to listen to his commentary because he was actually kind of dogging on Bill Murray a little bit, saying like, yeah, he's a bit of a jerk, at some points. But then also he could have moments where he was a very touching good guy, and he went back and forth throughout that movie. Obviously,
Perfect casting.
Perfect
Casting. If you
he has those both sides, those two sides.
here's a movie where so when you watch Edge of Tomorrow, they'll say, yeah, it's kind of like Tom Cruise goes through this Groundhog Day thing, right? Groundhog Day
it's
is
definitely
bigger than
right. It's a phrase. I mean, it's like.
And Puxatawny Phil,
People know
they're getting
that.
20,000 people now going down there. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So this is
I got a fun
this
fact
is a
about it.
classic movie.
Fun fact, I actually went to the little village that they filmed Groundhog Day in.
Woodstock, Illinois.
Woodstock, Illinois.
Really?
We went during Christmas.
Okay.
And they were doing a lot of, I mean, it was a tiny little village where they were doing quite a few Christmas activities.
Did you go to the Tip Top restaurant? Was
We
the diner?
didn't. We
No.
didn't. It was because of Ann's family that lives in Chicago, in Illinois.
Okay, yeah.
So we went down there, and they had the plaques on the ground, like this is where Phil stepped off the curb, and stepped in the puddle over and
really?
over again. Oh yeah, it's become a tourist place just for that.
Yeah, and where the B&B was that he was in, that was actually somebody's house.
It was actually somebody's
and
house.
now
Correct.
it became a true B&B.
Oh, did it really?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Yeah. They. Yep. Love to hear that story about that, but yeah, it was just a much better site for that, and yeah, it's right here. I actually heard Harold Ramis saying that they scouted out tons of places in.
Puxawani?
No, in southeastern Wisconsin as
that's
well.
right, that's
yeah,
right.
they were. That movie may have been filmed here, but they found this place, Woodbridge. Is it Woodbridge?
Woodstock,
Illinois. Yeah. So
America's most reliable.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I heard that.
commercial break.
Yeah, because it had a city center
Yeah.
where everybody could gather.
Right.
And the actual Puxatawny is
It's more rural.
It's more rural.
It's much more rural.
Where there's like a
Yeah.
little miniature stadium. And
Remember this
have a
part in the movie
ceremony.
where he goes, "I wish it." When he's in his kind of depression mode, and he's like, "I wish it was back like in the old days when they used to pull the hog out of the ground and they used to eat him." That actually is true.
What?
Apparently, back when the Groundhog Day first started, it was more of a groundhog hunt than it was just
Really?
pulling him out of the ground. Yeah, they used to just hunt him, and I guess they would say, the shadow part of it evolved. But yeah, it's actually true. That's
Wow,
the way that
I had never
theory
heard
kinda
that.
How about a
started.
little sound of Groundhog Day?
I hope you.
Groundhog time.
1,000 people freezing their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
Weatherman Phil Connors is spending the day in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania.
Phil?
This is good.
Ned Ryerson, I did the whistling belly button trick at the high school talent show.
Bing!
That actor's
But
great.
Phil's about to find out. He's not just stuck in Puxatawney.
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
Chance of departure today, 100%.
I love how
stuck.
that percentage kept going down.
In Groundhog Day.
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
Phil?
Ned Ryerson?
Bing!
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Langston?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
Well, it's Groundhog Day.
Again.
At first, he was a little anxious.
Phil? What?
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
I'd say the chance of departure is
About
80%.
But now,
We could do whatever we want.
That'd
he's
be the fun part.
discovering the possibilities
Don't
Right.
you worry about cholesterol.
Why?
and living life like there's no tomorrow.
Phil Connors!
Ned!
Because there isn't.
I am an immortal. I have been stabbed, shot, burned, frozen.
I don't think I would
electrocuted.
jump in front of a
I'm
car.
a god.
You're God.
I
I'm a
would.
god. I'm not the god.
He's out of his gourd.
After you've
But to
lived
get what
so
his
many
heart
days.
wants most,
What are you looking for, Phil? A date for the
Yeah,
weekend?
the day would end right there, right?
Right. It just. I wonder how much you would even
Believe
feel
it or not, I studied 19th
Probably
century French poetry.
till you die, I guess.
What a waste of time.
You want to make sure you go quick.
Yeah,
I
you
studied
might
19th
remember.
century French poetry.
A lot of slapping.
You speak French.
Bill Murray,
Oh yeah, the
Andy
piano
McDowell.
playing.
Oh yeah, there you can hear him
To the
playing the
Groundhog.
piano.
I always drink to world peace.
Did you know that he has 6
should we
brothers?
drink
Or that
to?
he's the Murrays have 6 boys?
I like to say a prayer.
No, I know his
World
oldest,
peace.
oldest brother.
Yeah.
Don't drive angry.
The other one that's in the movie with
He's actually
him.
in this movie. Yeah,
Yeah, Brian Doyle Murray.
He's choking and he gets he gives a
Yeah, he's,
Heimlich
and he's
maneuver
one of
to him.
the officiants at Groundhog Day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He apparently, I think he's the 3rd oldest, and then Brian Doyle Murray is the 2nd oldest of the. I guess there's a whole bunch of them Murrays. I wonder if the rest of them are
Oh, man.
actors. Yeah,
I didn't.
that's
know
a
that.
fun little. Where'd you get that?
I mean, that's just off of.
It's like a trailer. Or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
that
we're
was
just
the
playing a
actual
trailer.
trailer,
I'm
like
just
a
trying
promotion.
to, get myself to pull that
Well,
to
again,
number one.
Yeah.
You're-
So
Edge of Tomorrow is more current. It's a lot of fun. I've watched it more than I have
is it
Groundhog
more?
Day.
That's more of a love. Well, I guess
lately.
is
lately.
that more of a love story? I mean, he's going through that whole thing because, what's the?
I wanna know-
what's his like in his heart, in that movie.
Trying to save the world and then falling in love with Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
But now I want to know.
Similarly, though, he
I wanna
starts
know
out as a coward, and by the end of the movie,
Hmm.
he's saved the world.
which one have you
Cage
seen?
and Rita?
Which one out of like any of these have you seen the
most?
most recently?
Well,
No.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, okay.
Palm Springs.
Okay. Live, die, repeat for me.
Okay.
So
Well,
there you go. It's all. We're all
Well,
over the
I've
place.
seen both of them in the past month. Palm Springs and Edge of Tomorrow.
Well, I knew we were doing this,
Right,
and
so
so
I
that
was.
might have influenced me. I wanted to see my favorite one.
Well, how about before that?
I would say Edge of Tomorrow may be more watchable than
Whoa.
Palm Springs.
Ooh, look
But
at that.
Sorry.
over the years, again, 1993, I've been watching Groundhog Day on and off over the years.
Right. I mean, it
It's iconic. It's classic.
is. It's definitely considered one of the top 25 movies of all time.
People are going to
It's
say
our number
"Oh,
one movie of all time.
Yeah. So
And Edge of Tomorrow is also fantastic, but I lose something in that, I don't know, you're fighting this monster. I'm always
Really?
always to me like monster movies, they lose me a little bit because I don't relate to monster
I don't think
movies.
you've seen it lately enough. You haven't. I bet
Okay.
you haven't seen it in the last year.
Right, you're right.
Probably in the last 4.
Right, but I mean, I have it as my number 2.
Okay, I mean, because it's so good. I mean, Live, Die, Repeat could be, Edge of Tomorrow could be my number 1 science fiction movie of all time.
right,
you know?
it holds
I
its
believe
own
it.
just as aliens are invading the Earth and Tom Cruise is going to save it. And then you throw in the time loop, makes it even better.
Well, and then for that movie, I mean, my love of Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise
Right, there you go.
elevate the movie too. I mean, they're some of their best performances. They're like super terrific characters that they're portraying.
We got the trailer going on in the background, just so you know. Don can't see it, of course, but
We've had this
Yeah.
conversation. What day is it?
You should be able to get. I would love it if you could get what's coming on there up on the big screen.
I can eventually.
That'll be good. We're gonna do that.
That's a good score.
Oh, phenomenal score.
Oh
Are you
wow,
kidding
got.
me?
Is that the Last Samurai you got playing?
Yeah, we got Tom Cruise on
Oh.
both ends here.
Nice. You're watching the YouTube. You can watch. The
Actually,
Last
but
Samurai.
I love those armor things that they got in those.
Oh right, yeah, that exoskeleton sort of.
That was an interesting part of the movie in itself. He had to learn how to use that, and then how they used it.
Right. Agreed. I mean, it. To
There's
me,
not enough dialogue in this trailer. The trailer, I mean, I watch this movie a lot, and there's so much great dialogue, but the trailer is just showing the action.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Right, and that's the thing about that movie is that of your action adventure sci-fi movies, it's the one that has like a really good story to it as well. There's so many, like let's say, what's that Chris Pratt movie that just came out like last year?
Passengers?
Tomorrow War?
Tomorrow War.
Okay. I just watched that this week.
Good movie, fun action and all that, but I don't know if that's
It's not legendary.
It definitely doesn't have the level of story that just elevates Edge of Tomorrow to
Right,
that like next level.
Well, you got
tried to bring some of it in where
They did.
his a family member or something he's estranged from, and it's the end of his life or something.
Right,
And
yes.
he looks back and tries to change things. But yeah, I mean, Emily Blunt
They may
and
have tried to-
Cruise,
right.
she was fighting the romance. She didn't want to fall in love with him.
Yeah.
He kept saying, "What's your middle name?" And she didn't tell him. It was what it was until the very end. She couldn't. At the very end, she couldn't push it off any longer.
Yeah.
Where can I see that?
At my house on disc. You can listen to it. Has one of the best openings. The problem with me, so my list here, you have Edge of Tomorrow in my top 10. I won't even place it. It's in my top 10 movies of all time. Groundhog Day. It's in my top 10 movies of all time.
Right, just irregardless of
So
what
Palm-
kind of, any category.
Right. So Palm Springs, even though it is phenomenal, it's still too new. It's not in my top 10 movies of all time. It's the only reason. Now we think that in my personal top 10, 2 time loop movies. I can't have 3. Jesus, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can't have.
But I think it just goes to the fact that.
But it's close.
It's a very cool concept that. It's very relatable and it's very personal. And this story, if done really well, touches somebody. You can relate to it a lot. You put yourself in their situation. It's like, yes, I if I was there, I wish I could improve. I can see myself in these characters.
Another thing about Groundhog, it's a rom-com with emphasis on the com. I mean, it's funny.
Yes.
I mean,
That's
Murray,
a good point, right?
who didn't even want to make the movie and was kind of a jerk on the set, as the stories go.
Mm-hmm.
He did probably it's probably what he's most famous for.
I think it's his best performance ever. I mean, his most notable for sure.
Yeah.
What else is Bill Murray? What's his next best movie?
Yeah, I don't know, Stripes.
Right.
Ghostbusters.
Lost in Translation for me, but
That's what I was trying to think of.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that would be a good one.
Scarlett Johansson in her underpants.
What's that one where he's like it's a Wes Anderson movie?
Oh yeah, he's been in some Wes Anderson movies.
In fact, I just watched The French Dispatch, by the way.
Oh.
I rented that.
Yeah, save it. Was
Yeah.
it good? Okay, that's it. You delayed too much. There was a pause there.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson movies are always kind of like
They're
Yeah.
out there. They are out there.
Rushmore. Oh, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
That's it.
There you go.
So yeah, Bill Murray will always be remembered for Groundhog Day, and that couldn't have been better casting because, he transformed.
But now, if I was gonna,
And Andy McDowell,
It was a
who
perfect
did-
movie for him.
Who didn't fall in love with Andy McDowell? Every time?
Yeah,
she's
so natural, so real.
Ay.
I remember listening today to Harold Ramis saying he was sometimes like just watching the monitor while they were doing, and he would forget to say cut because he's just watching her, and she was so natural, and he was just mesmerized by how she was just so real.
So I got those penciled in like that. So all we really have to work on is 3. Is
Okay.
Palm Springs? Do you agree with that? 1 and 2.
Yep, I do.
Okay,
I
so
do.
now like Palm Springs could be. It's so funny.
Right.
Also, I mean, it might be in my top. If comedies of all time. What number? You don't have to position it. Is it in the top 25, 30?
Oh,
50?
for sure.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, boy, when we first saw it, we were blown away by it. I know
It's clever. It's clever in
it-
many ways.
It had to be on our
It was the best of the year. For
yeah,
sure.
2020 is when it came out, and
It starts out.
Boom.
He's already been in the time loop. He's
Yeah.
laying back on the
That's right.
the water cushion, and
And
he's
his-
like already
he's
into
figured
that-
it out.
He's
His
into that
girlfriend-
acceptance stage.
oh yeah, he kind of
Right?
wasn't he?
Right. And he's probably gone through. What the hell is this?
1,000 of these.
And then she gets accidentally sucked into the time loop, which is different than
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. More like
And Edge of Tomorrow also. I mean, it's
yeah.
one of those things where that one is interesting in that they kind of learn. That's the whole deal. Is like he kind of jumps in where she already kind of knows that there's something going on. Isn't that the story?
Yeah, right.
Right, because she didn't lose her memory, but she did
Right.
lost her ability.
Right, but then she's like really like, oh my gosh, here's somebody that is also in this with me that can maybe help me to get through this and defeat this
I loved it when she said, he's asking, well, what do you want me to do? Well, you've got to win this war. All by myself? Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to figure out where the Omega is and kill it.
Ooh, good word there.
Yes. Because I think it was the Alpha that
The mimics. They were called the mimics.
mimics, and the Alpha was one of the main ones that surveyed the front.
Right.
And,
Okay.
And just before he was about to kill Tom Cruise, he put a bomb on him, and he blew up, and then he got his blood on him.
Oh yeah.
All right. So there was an explanation of why he went back. With Groundhog Day, there was never an explanation.
Yeah.
They
right.
didn't want to explain it.
Right.
Oh, but I did
I
hear
don't
the
think
story
they ever
that
did.
they actually put it in the script where there was some kind of explanation. It was
Oh.
supposed to be about physics and things like that.
Oh, interesting.
But they did it for Sony, who the executives, they said, we need to have some kind of explanation.
You almost went Asian racist there.
I was
Very
gonna do
close.
that.
Good catch. Which I'm okay with.
Not me.
Well, he has got Tom Cruise as a samurai behind him.
We don't do this.
Anyway, they buried
that's very
it.
interesting.
They filmed it way at the end of the whole movie, and
Okay.
so they never put it in.
Wow, interesting. And now, what about Palm Springs? Did they never really explained that either, except for that it was in that cave?
No.
No,
This-
she drives. It's all quantum physics. Remember, he loses her. Where did she go? She starts time looping. So her piano, so to speak, that Murray got good at the piano. She became an expert in quantum physics, and she found out there was a 3.5 second window.
Okay.
That you could go into that portal in the cave,
Right.
blow through explosions somehow,
Right.
and you could go back in time
But it was more of a
or end the loop.
It was more of a solution than an explanation. It was like, this is how
Oh, yeah.
to solve the problem.
Oh, that's right.
Instead of like, where did this time loop cave
Yeah,
come
well,
from,
yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah,
you know. And then I forget about the other one. I'm trying to think of if we're having this debate. You know, I think we're kind of going with Groundhog Day and
Edge of
Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and then what else would be besides Palm Springs would be another
Number
candidate for 3.
Well, since you haven't seen
Boss
Happy
Day.
Death Day, I can't tell you.
Boss.
I mean, I like
Boss level?
Happy Death Day Part
Or 2.
2. I mean, Boss Level is really good. I mean,
It is.
it's surprising. Like Palm Springs, I did not even like Andy. What's his name?
Sandberg.
Sandberg. I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
Before I saw the movie,
There you
and
go.
then I was like a fan.
That's a pretty big.
I'm not ready to watch
endorsement of
Brooklyn
it.
911 yet, but
It's an endorsement of the movie to that you know
Yes.
somebody that you had a
I didn't like his
not
comedy.
not a repulsion, but
No,
you know,
but-
you weren't. You just did.
I wasn't drawn to him.
Yeah. You had some like a wall was there that had to get broke down.
Yeah. So that was really good. But Boss Day, then you have who's the star of Boss Day?
Gravillo,
Frank.
Frank. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And
The
you know,
stuntman guy.
he's kind of your, he was always like in the elevator in Captain America.
Right.
Right. He was kind of like, he's never a headliner
No,
star.
right. That's right. We talked about that. This is like his first like leading man movie.
And I mean, that movie is great.
Another Hulu original, apparently, as I'm seeing it on my
Okay.
computer right
Now,
now.
I've only seen Palm Springs maybe 2 or 3 times. I haven't seen it more than that. Have you?
No, I haven't. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
so
good
maybe-
point.
Seen it
You know.
twice.
Okay.
I've definitely seen Edge of Tomorrow more than that.
God. Okay. I would hope so. I mean, I've seen Edge of Tomorrow
Not like
in like approaching like 100 times.
I haven't seen it that many times.
Okay.
I've only seen Boss Level once.
Groundhog Day.
Dozens and
At least
dozens.
5 to 10 times.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay. I mean, it's old enough. You would think just by.
I have a copy in
Right.
VHS, CD,
It's almost
Blu-ray,
It's
and soon to be
1993.
4K.
Okay, so 93. So
That's almost 30 years. So,
So
if you
you-
watch it once a year,
yeah, easily 30 times I've seen it.
yes.
Yeah, love, and I like watching it again, even if you just watch little parts of it. You can just show me the scene at the end where he's doing the piano and Andy McDowell walks in. Oh my God, he's playing the piano and that whole scene, or when he's trying to save the homeless man. But there's only
Yeah.
he learns that there's only a certain amount of things that you can change in your life. You try your best,
Right.
But sometimes life just
It's-
you
it's-
can't beat it.
You can't change things. Hey, here's a movie that is also high on our list, but I know it's not a time loop or anything like that, but what is Vanilla Sky?
Oh yeah,
That would be. Let's see. Let's classify that one. It's a
that's-
time travel. No,
No, it's not time travel.
it's not a loop.
It's not a loop. It's
is it a dream state?
that there you go. You're honing in on it.
More of a dreamscape?
I mean, we're gonna, obviously we'll spoil it once we, get the exact wording with it. But
it's sort of right. It's I like that.
That's
it's a
one
dream.
I gotta see again.
It's a dream reality where you
no, you don't know what the real which part is real.
where you don't know what's real and you're trying to change it.
I think of another one of my favorites that's like that, Total Recall, where he doesn't know if he's
Yeah.
in the machine.
Yes.
Is he living a dream?
Is it really a
That's what
A
Vanilla
fantasy.
Sky is. You don't know
okay? That's
what's real
okay.
So I don't know how you label that.
until the end, I guess.
Yeah, I threw a monkey wrench in there. Those
I
are
know it's
definitely not
real.
time loops
No,
or
we're
anything
talking
like that.
sci-fi. Boss
Yeah.
Level is sci-fi.
Yeah, there's just sort of like
So Boss Level,
Altered-
Edge of Tomorrow, those are sci-fi. Now Boss Level has no romance in it, where Edge of Tomorrow has Emily Blunt and Cruz in a little bit of a romance. And then you got
big time.
Palm Springs, where Christine Miletti. She plays. I don't know.
Christina Milioti.
She doesn't even believe in love. She thinks that people get married.
Kristen
just 'cause-
Milotti.
Kristen. She's just afraid. She says people are just afraid to be alone. It's all the pageantry of weddings and marriage, which
Yeah.
they're gonna go to.
Right.
They're in a time loop too. She says it's all bullshit, and yet she comes out of that and she falls in love. So she has that same transformation, just like in Groundhog's Day.
She does, which is a big part of these movies. Is that to me? That's a huge part of it. Is how you break out of the loop, and a lot of times you have to some sort of growth.
It's also really funny, just like Groundhog Day. Palm Springs is funny.
Oh, Kristen Milotti has the gigantic eyes.
She does.
It's just like
She's
so
ju-
cute
oh
and
my
like just like humongous.
If she was mad,
Animated.
Where did I
Could-
see her before this movie? Can you hand me that big brown bottle over there?
The Wolf of Wall Street. She played DiCaprio's
First wife?
First wife.
Is that the only place I saw her?
Fargo. She was in Fargo.
Where?
Wasn't she
as
in a series?
Betsy.
God, that
She was
heavy.
Made for Love. That's very
Made for Love.
recent. That's the. Yeah.
On my
Love.
soundboard here, I actually do have.
Mythic Quest.
Let's see what I got. I got a groundhog button. Can I just press it and see what pops out of the groundhog button?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was
There
in
we
the
go.
Mindy Project. Yeah, they had some fun little tunes in that movie.
I also have hard to believe, I have a live, die, repeat button. No.
Ooh, let's hear that.
Come on! The ship is going to explode! What are you doing?
Find me when you wake up.
What?
Come find me when you wake up.
I love that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't find it funny. That's not funny, Bill.
No,
I'm laughing.
I'm laughing because it's
It's awesome.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it's funny that I have that
Just
as a button.
love it.
How I Met Your Mother. She was in that.
Okay.
So you just one of those faces that you don't
Boy,
forget.
so actually, it's coming down to 3 and 4 is pretty difficult. We gotta end the show,
Yeah.
and I know you want to keep talking.
We're at an hour, approximately an hour.
Jesus, this is supposed to be a short show.
Yeah.
Mary is going to be
We
upset.
cannot stop yapping.
Well, 3 and 4. I mean, boss level is really good.
Oh, by the way, the movie Chatter song that I sang at the beginning of the last episode,
Okay.
I think that should be a thing.
I don't know. I don't remember you singing a song.
It goes something like, everybody likes the chatter. Everybody likes the choo-choo chatter. Everybody likes the moo-moo. And then I changed it. Now it's, everybody likes the movie chatter. There you go.
Oh my God.
That's our theme song.
Oh my God! And you haven't been drinking.
No. Just regular Coca-Cola over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'd put Boss Level 4. Me personally.
How many times
for
have you
4,
seen it? How many times have you seen it?
Once.
I have only seen it once as well.
And I've
Sorry.
seen
okay.
the map of tiny little things 2 or 3 times.
Okay. That is surprisingly also a really good movie.
Talk me into a number 3. If you have a different number 3 than
Okay,
Palm
again,
Springs.
you're stuck living the same day. It's definitely Groundhog, but and this is not a big action movie or anything like that. It is literally
Dialogue?
low tech. There's almost no special effects in it. But
in,
what
in
they
tiny
do,
map of
right,
the map of tiny
but it's so
perfect things.
clever. The little things that they find
Yeah.
that are so interesting,
Right.
that just make a day worth it.
Yeah, and that one has a little bit of a mystery in that the girl, it's 2 people stuck in a loop, and she always has to leave. Every day she can't spend the whole day with the guy because there's something that is recurring for her that she has to be at.
Oh, that's right.
I thought maybe
know.
like beans or something.
Oh no, it's a little bit of a.
It's a sad part.
It's a sad
It's a
part.
very
I forgot
sad
about
part.
that.
So she's reliving like a really, really sad
And there's
thing.
no way she can get out of that.
Right, she keeps waking up, and this
Right.
sad thing happens.
Yeah, no. So in the end, so that's part of it because it again, that is like a personal thing where it's like it helps you to sort of, I don't know, understand going through that sort of a situation where it's based on a loved one that might be sick.
To me, the reason I like it is because all the things that they did are things that I could do that they did that were fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't save the world like Tom Cruise did and find the Omega and blow them up by selflessly pulling the grenades, 5 grenades, and blowing up the Omega. But I can go to a park and see the beauty of the world. And that's what they were doing. They were experiencing the funniness and the beauty of tiny little things.
How long were they in this time loop during this movie?
That's a good question. It didn't nearly seem as long as some of these other ones.
It wasn't years.
They figured a way out of it too.
Right. It seemed like, I don't know, maybe months, if that even.
Yeah.
But it's a really good movie.
Is it better than Palm Springs?
It's not. To me, Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti's performances, and then add in J.K. Rawlings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or Simmons, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That elevates that movie.
Right.
With better performances.
Yeah. I mean, those are just 3 great movies.
Yeah.
And then it really takes a way big stumble when you go to number 4 and 5.
I think so.
6.
I think so.
Well, there we go. We have the list right here.
All right.
Here it is.
Number 1, Groundhog Day, 1993, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, undisputed champion of loops.
Number 2, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Let me redo that.
Time loop.
Time loop. Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Palm Springs, number 3. And why it's so good is it just popped up. It was
it's like
what's on TV today?
Unexpected movie that just turned into gold.
Right.
Where everything had to be perfect. Every joke has to land, and those jokes have to be. You have to be able to rewatch it over and over. Like if there's
it is rewatchable.
If
it's
you,
so crazy.
I mean, if there was a part of Groundhog Day that just wasn't funny, like anything, if there is an objective part.
It is gold.
No.
Right, that's the thing.
Everything. It's all gold. So
I-
tightly edited.
It needs. Yeah, I need to know more about that movie because it is good, and I think Palm Springs, although it doesn't have the following that Groundhog Day does, I think it's one that's going to be remembered, and live on. And,
Maybe you'll watch it tonight. Yeah, because
I might.
Because somebody,
Hulu.
some younger kid might think that's their favorite movie ever.
Right.
They've never seen Groundhog Day. They may never have a chance to.
Yeah, that's true.
At least, you have Bill Murray. So, if somebody becomes a fan, they're going to see every Bill Murray movie, and then maybe they'll land on it. Tom Cruise, if you're a Tom Cruise fan, maybe you're gonna eventually stumble on, or Emily Blunt also. So there you go.
There you go.
That's it. That's the whole showdown.
Nice. We did it. We got out of here less than an hour and a half.
We're not gonna commit to next week, but you never know what we could have for you.
What are you guys thinking?
I don't know yet.
I like the time travel concept.
I think it's not bad.
Time travel,
I think it's
maybe.
good. Yeah. Interesting.
We have a lot.
Although we could do what everybody hates about movie chatter, which is that we don't talk about movies, and we could talk about Reacher.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. Great show, but I don't know if I can fill up an hour.
Okay.
And when we do start talking about non-list shows, which we're going to start doing list shows, if we're not doing 10 minutes at a time or something like that, or week in review.
We're going to stick to a format.
We'll eventually get to some type of format by episode 500. And so what I was getting at is I don't know if if Reacher You know, it easily could fill up an hour because you could talk about the Tom Cruise movies. You can talk about the book. You can talk about this series.
Yeah.
You can talk about Peacemaker. You can talk about everything. They all kind of blend together, and the whole thing could be Reacher.
Yeah, it could. And then you could you mentioned Peacemaker.
I mean, just
there.
because the actor could play Peacemaker.
Right. And then you could sort of branch out a little bit and broaden it into other things.
Yeah, it would become
similar stuff.
Right. But if we do another top 3, it'll probably be time travel, which will be a lot of fisticuffs. It won't be easy like this. This was just simple.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah. I have some that are absolute in the top 3. So
Of what?
Time travel.
Time travel.
I do.
I like it.
So we'll have to replay that again because Don, we can't go to that ending thing anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we started talking about Reacher, which is such a good series.
I think everybody should look at the
On
camera
Prime.
so I can do a snapshot off of this.
Oh, okay.
So everybody look at the YouTube. So
Where's the camera? Oh, it's right there.
listen to us on YouTube and subscribe and give us money if that's available.
Maybe I haven't seen a Apple Podcast review for a long time. Maybe one of those.
There you go. Anybody who's listening, do an Apple Podcast review as
Movie
long as
Chatter
it's a 5.
moviechatterpodcast@gmail.com. Would you like to tell us about a movie that you thought we missed? You know, we didn't miss them. We just kind of skipped over them because you can't talk about
Anybody
every
that's
movie
listening
right now
from where we work,
give us a
please
list.
Throw us a bone.
Throw us a bone.
Or if you want a list, email me. I'll send you a list of all the time travel movies.
There you go.
Moviechatter54@gmail.
Send us your address. We'll give you a sticker. Got stickers. That's something.
Guys.
Stickers.
All right, here's the wrap.
All right. Say goodbye, Don.
Until next time, goodbye.
10-4, over and out.
Later.